Thank you, Chuck Baldwin. Frank McEnulty, New American Independent Party, 3 minutes.
Thank you. My name is Frank McEnulty, and I am the presidential candidate for the New American Independent Party, which is one of our newer parties and is basically concerned with the fact that our federal government seems to be completely out of control and wanting to take over our daily lives. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I grew up a lower middle class family. I'm the fourth of 6 kids, 12 years of Catholic school. Brian Moore and I have a lot in common in our background. My wife Cheryl and I have been married 20 years, a week after the election coming up, and I have 2 daughters, Sarah, 17, and Rebecca, 15, who are both very active in sports. And it's mainly because of my concern for the future of my daughters and everyone's sons and daughters that I am pursuing the presidency of the United States in the 2008 election. And basically, I'm not a politician. I'm not a radical. I'm just fed up with where the politicians have led this country. Like I said, most of my positions would be described as moderate. I'm fairly conservative fiscally. I'm quite libertarian otherwise. Yeah, but the only label I want is that of an American. That's what I am. That's what I want to be. But I'm also firm in my belief that the country is going in the wrong direction, and we better do something about it. I think that we're trying to, this group here. There are millions, and I believe there's millions of people. In fact, I believe the majority of people believe the same way, but they just don't know where to turn. And that's what the purpose of this third party, my third party, and the other third parties in this debate is, to give the people of America a place to turn. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank McEnulty. Jonathan Allen, Independent.
Hello, my name is Jonathan Allen. I'm an independent, unaffiliated candidate from Montrose, Colorado. I'm a father of 3 and an international businessman, and I'm running for President of the United States because I believe we need a fundamental change in the debate and in the kind of leadership that we're currently seeing. Like many of you, we all recognize the dysfunction of the bipartisan political system, and it is my hope that all of us can move from a position of dissent to a position of strategic progress. I think the most important thing in that line of thinking is that we have to move beyond good intentions and look at some strategic ways that we can make a difference in America. I believe one of the major problems that we're all encountering is the media, the major media and the big press and the political system wants to redefine or wants to define the debate in terms that they can provide a solution. And the prescription is only as good as the diagnosis. And it is my belief, and that of my campaign, which is called Hardquake 08, that the root problems that we're really dealing with here in America are matters of the heart. Things like fear, greed, pride, apathy, and cynicism. And as long as we try to provide political solutions to cultural problems, we're not going to make any progress at all in our nation. The major issue that I think we're all confronting, ultimately, is that of hopelessness and cynicism. Most of the American public knows and is under the burden of our bipartisan political system, but they don't know what to do about it. And I believe that the challenge before all of us as third party, if you would use that term, or other candidates, minor candidates, is to present a credible and believable path out of the mess that we're in. And I believe the first thing we need to do is to break the monopoly. I want to thank the host tonight, Brian, and your the media people for presenting this opportunity. I believe the media is the number one way that we all need to get our message out to the nation. We're just coming out of the gate today as a candidate on a national stage, and we're intending to use the media in a major way. With Internet, 5 people telling 5 people in 11 days, we can have 48 million people knowing what is happening. So the Internet is a big thing. But we're all up against the second major hurdle, and that is even if we have an awareness of who we are as a candidate, the mythology of the big party system is this, that it doesn't matter. Anyone voting for any one of us is throwing away their vote. I'm going to be coming out with a video in about 1 or 2 days, showing how we can be a good chance of going into an overtime scenario this year and breaking the mythology of the system. So I believe we need to have a practical strategy for hope that things can really change before America's going to believe it.
Thank you, Jonathan Allen. Special guest, Greg Kaufory, representing Ralph Nader. 3 minutes.
I've been a friend of Ralph for more than 20 years. I'm a trial lawyer in Portland, Oregon. Ralph, as many of you know, wrote a book called Unsafe at Any Speed about the auto industry back in the mid-'60s, and General Motors took such offense that the head of General Motors decided that Nader should be destroyed for having had the temerity to criticize the industry. They sent investigators to follow him, trying to get dirt on him. When they couldn't get anything, they were told to make something happen. They tried to lure him with prostitutes into compromising situations. Nader turned the tables on them, and when the smoke cleared, the head of General Motors, the most powerful corporation in the world, had to appear in front of a Senate committee with the TV lights and an electrified nation and apologize to Ralph Nader for having tried to destroy him for having written a book. Nader sued General Motors. He made more than $500,000. He put that money into the first public interest law firm in Washington, and from that, Nader spun off more than 100 organizations designed to represent ordinary people in their struggles against oppressive corporations and the government. Ralph's basic analysis is that the problem with the United States and the problem with the world is that corporations have too much power. And that is the common thread that underlies all the problems we have. Why do we burn coal? Because big corporations own a lot of coal, and they don't want to leave it in the ground. So you hear McCain and Obama talking about clean coal. What a myth. Why are they talking about nuclear power? Huge corporations, some of which own, TV networks, have huge investments in nuclear power. They don't want to leave the uranium in the ground. Why don't we have a single-payer health care? Because big corporations, pharmaceutical corporations, HMOs, insurance companies make money off illness. And so instead of having health care as a right, we have health care as a privilege in this country. What Nader has done over the years is go after the government, go after the corporations, go after corrupt unions. He has fought corruption everywhere it appears. His policies have been consistent over time. He favors getting out of these terrible wars that we're fighting in the Mideast. He talks about reducing our defense budget, which is geared toward fighting a Soviet Union, which doesn't exist. He wants to restore the civil liberties, which have been taken from us, particularly during the Bush administration. And he would say today that this fledgling effort to get third-party discussions going, that's what we need to do. Ordinary citizens, communities, groups should demand debates, make the candidates come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Greg Kaufory, for joining us this evening. Greg will now drop off, and the rest of the debate will be between the presidential candidates themselves. Brian, proceed with the first question.